Islam.
and Grand Rising. Empress Delilah, we yield the floor. Islam.
Islam. Um, let's all rise and face east. Put our feet at a 45-degree angle. 5 fingers on the left-hand side, two peace fingers on the right-hand side, and repeat after me. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
The Father of love.
The Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom. And justice. Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide. And my salvation. By night. And by day. Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Through Ali.
Amen.
Islam. The reading of the divine Constitution and Bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, is empowered to make law and enforce law with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Act 2. All meetings are to be opened and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended into his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is our holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or to accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the said government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of the said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders to slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865, during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name in order to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of the uplifting of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with the necessities of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must take care of your children. You must obey your husband. You must take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. must be industrious, and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God, Allah. Let's see. Moorish Science Temple of America, Home Office 3606, Indiana Avenue, Noble Drew Ali founder, Chicago, Illinois, January 18, 1929, to be reclaimed in every meeting. Dear brother, Islam, I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy, quote unquote, about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim it was all a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens. They are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so that they themselves may take charge of the movement. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors, the ones who contribute to the movement and the uplifting acts, the ones that pay their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it bad. Never before have I needed finance as badly as I do at present, that I may shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my quote-unquote fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without me, the prophet, being the head. It has been proven by my work in which I have performed in the last few months, because I was at the governor's inauguration to represent the Moorish Divine and National Movement, and I will be at the inauguration of President Hoover for the same cause. Noble Drew Ali. Bloom, are you on? I guess not. All right. So, divine warning by the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Prophet warns all Muslims. Governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, and on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. Severe consequence. Any severe consequence. Any members or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their Islam, by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine covenant founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by order of Prophet Nabi Ali. I know I messed up in some senses, but, I got all these distractions going on, calls coming in and stuff like that. But anyway, chapter 25, a holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother has given thee suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thine own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Islam. So at this point, I'll ask the usual things, but Sister Light wanted me to share this with you. I got roving reporters around here, this area and stuff like that, and I'm sure someone who's in the land of Nada Manhattan has heard that Giuliani has confessed that, that he might have to work for these people, quote unquote, known as blacks, because, they're messing up a lot of things that they normally would be getting, the benefit that the Albions, the modern Europeans, the carnivorous hybrids might be receiving. He recognizes that, as in Italy, from Italy, and he knows that, the Moors are coming up hard and fierce, and they hear the giant thunder of Mama's big boots coming up there, her brogans coming up on them, her big brogans coming up there, and she got switches in her hand. She got some nice switches for some, but he recognizes that we're on the rise, and it's just, I'm so graced, I'm so privileged, I'm so, loving that this movement is just rising out of the universe. It's expanding so fast and so far. It's like, I don't know if you ever seen that stuff that they put that foam in the can and you spray it, and it's called installation, and expands and expands and expands and expands. And you got to cut it back in order to keep it from expanding so large. But ain't no cutting back on this stuff right now, because the Moors is on the rise with Mama with her big brogan boots, and she coming to take up some. She coming to tear up this stuff. So at this point, I yield for questions, comments, concerns, interjections, and objections. All right, I yield.
Islam. Grand rising to the heirs. I just wanted to briefly mention, and I talked about it a little while ago before most of you were on, but this time that we're in right now, it is important for us to use our super abilities to do everything we can to look beyond our own individual situations so that we can see the nation and its growth and its building and manifestation. It's very important, because lately I've seen even some of the most seasoned Moors paused in their activity because of present circumstances. Yes, we all have present circumstances that we're dealing with. Some are displaced. That actually seems to be the biggest piece right there, is displacement. Now, they're not sleeping on the streets. They're not sleeping on the streets, but they're displaced. Right. They're not in domiciles that they consider that which heirs should be living in. And I don't think any of us are, actually. But we're in that place now where it's going to be very, very important for us to keep our eyes on nation building and not let anyone pick up the phone and call us and put energies into our activity, because a lot of times the most active Moors are the ones who get the calls saying, well, if we're the heirs, why is everybody so homeless? How come we don't have this? We know everything is ours. There is a method to what's going on. There's a method to it. And our ancestors put heavy emphasis on the proper laws and processes by which the estate is governed. And right now we're working through those laws and processes so that we can properly, competently put the foundation in place so that even we won't be going back and forth with one another over things that are on this estate. Because there's no need to. The estate is too vast for us to go back and forth. And right now, those processes are being put in place. But please, guard your ear gates and eye gates. Do not let people come and dump trash energy on you about your nation and about the people that are working in your nation, to include yourself. Don't let them don't let them shake your confidence in yourself and the things that you're doing. Not to mention your brothers and sisters that are active. Because a lot of times it's the active Moors that are the target of a lot of that ugly energy. And they can be pretty slick about coming to you with that energy, where they pick up the phone and it's all, glitter and unicorns until they want to slip that ugly energy in there. And, and it can be discouraging to Moors if we allow that energy to be injected in our actions and our activities. So when people call and they start, and they have an ulterior motive, I'm grateful that our ancestors are giving us the discerning energies to where even when it rings, we already know what's on the other end by who it is and what's going on with them. And I'm not demonizing even the ones who call. They've been programmed just like all of us have. Mm-hmm. And so we have to know the programming when we hear it, because the programmed energies are designed to stop the energies that have been set free from programming. That's all it is. Yes. And so I think it is incumbent upon each of us to do the energy work. That energy work is more important than anything else, because everything we do is based on our energies. And the success of our demonstrations is based on our energies. And so while we're in this transitionary time, I say this because I'm really concerned about those who it's very easy for someone to inject doubtful energy or energy that would cause them to pause in their activities. There are Moors coming in that are highly active and highly competent, and, sometimes they come in with a little bit of where they're kind of looking up to certain Moors because those Moors are active. And then even some of those Moors have some programming that needs to be worked out. I think we all do to a degree. And we can't allow anyone, I don't care who they are, to inject any doubt or any ugliness towards our brothers and sisters who've not done anything to us. Let them talk bad about brothers and sisters to us, and then have us looking at our brothers and sisters funny who've done nothing but assist. There are so many Moors who have done nothing but assist. They're working from a pure, clean, sincere place. And I believe that's everyone on this call, as a matter of fact, working from a pure, because you would not be here if you were not working from a pure, clear, sincere place, because a lot of us could be doing a whole lot of other stuff. And so it can be discouraging, and I don't like to see our brothers and sisters discouraged by someone picking up, by something they heard on the phone, that would cause them to pause in their activity. Because we've made a whole lot of progress, and it's real. It's the theme that I'm seeing with those who want to stop what we're doing. The theme that I see is they will say, well, show me something that's working, because I don't see nothing working. Show me something that's working. Well, their third eye is glued shut. It's with sleep. So they're not going to be able to see the same things that some who are active and doing things can see, and we're all aware of that. Yes. All of us, you here on this call, see things that those who are not as active cannot see. So they're going to say, well, where did you get that from? I don't see that. You all are doing this, but it looked like they're still holding mowers or whatever. We can't let any of that deter us, and that energy, we have to know, and I think the main point, because I won't belabor it, but the main point is it's important for us to know how we process energies. How we process energies, so that when energies come and it causes us some discomfort, what we're to do with that energy, because we can use that energy still, even in that case. When someone sends you energy, if you are an energy transmuter, transmute the energy into something you can use. If you are an energy rejector, any negative energy, you have a shield up, because there are different types of ways there are several ways that we each process energy. Some process energy whereby they can take in any energy, no matter how negative it is or how whatever it is or foreign it is, they can take that energy and use it. Then there are some who are very sensitive, and any energies that come to them, they then take on the characteristics of that energy. Those are empaths. You have to be really careful what you take in and what you allow into your ear gate and to your eye gate. As we move from colonization into decolonization, because that's where we are right now. We're moving. It's transitionary. Many have not fully possessed all that they see for themselves. It's important to keep the vision that you see, because see, a lot of times people will say, well, I don't see anything that's happening and I don't know what to do next. Always tap into what is your vision for yourself and for your nation. What's your vision? And then how do you see yourself getting to that vision? Keep that in mind even when people are calling and saying, well, I don't see nothing. You don't see it, but that's all right. If you don't see it, sit still. You sit there in the back and wait until you're shown.
In the corner.
Okay. And I'm not being mean, but I'm just saying, don't come bringing that energy into what's being done. Okay. Empress Melo, what you said in the chat is all of that, because we don't even do feelings and beliefs. We don't even do feelings and beliefs. Empress Melo said in the chat, believe nothing, correct. Consider everything, correct, because we don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater, and continue toward nation building all day, every day. And with that, I yield the floor. Islam.
I just want to camera walk with you about people who saying, my house got taken. I was evicted and stuff like that, and I ain't got no house. But the point of the matter is, you may be houseless, but you're not homeless, because wherever Moore lays his head, he's home. He's home. So, you may be houseless for a minute, but that's because, you're not observing your natal chart, how you were supposed to navigate here. You're not observing that. And two, we all come in as children. We all come in as children. We grow, 7 years, 14 years, 21. We must put away those childish ways. and we're looking for someone to come and rescue us. Mommy, mommy, can you rescue me? I'm stuck in this mud hole. Mommy, mommy, I went out in the street and this car is coming. Can you rescue me? No, because we are establishing principles of action and seeing that you ever act accordingly to them. And the other piece is that what the prophet was saying, there was a host of jealousy about him in the movement then. There's a host, and there's still a host of jealousy today, because they are not the ones that are demonstrating, this effort. And because it's done silently in the dark where no one can really absolutely measure it, but it's being done because, as we know, the pen is mightier than the sword. You can come out there, I got 15 rounds of this gun, I got that gun. No, it's not that kind of party. No, it's where we clean up our thoughts, where we clean up, our ability to manifest that which we desire, because we can and do manifest these things, because what Yeshua said, what I am, all men shall be. What I am, all men shall be. You are. All you got to do is just do the application and follow the pattern that has been established. And so, don't, like Tajiri says, do not be discouraged, because, look at Act 3. It says, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple. You are Moors, you practice science, and the temple is your brain, between up in your head. You are of America. We must not, slander, looters, murder, theft, and everything that harms. No, you must not put in danger your brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm your brother or sister, because Allah is love. So if you keep that in mind, because the prophet kept it very in line, with the Constitution, how you're supposed to follow, that line of thought, and then you can go to your higher self, and they ain't going to bring you down, because there's two things that the prophet, I wanted to go over too, but I'm going to go over the 101, but the cavveat emptore. The cavveat emptore. I think Bloom has that, but I was going to go over what is Islam. What is Islam? But the cavveat emptore, are you here, Bloom? Bloom?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Can you do cavveat emptore? Cavveat emptore?
Sure. Okay, sure. Islam, everyone.
Islam.
Get to my page.
Islam.
All right. Moors are men upright, independent, and fearless, who care for their loved ones and follow the prophet to a destiny which is not uncertain nor unknown. They are fortified by the impregnable doctrine built upon love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. It is therefore folly at its greatest height for smelly culprits with their insidious plans to invade such realm. They try and try, but their own bad planning brings down wrath upon their heads like the sword old Damascus had. Intrigue and scurrilous cunning find a difficult path to travel within the ranks of the Moors. This is so because the Moorish movement has been well planned by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, whose latent powers are abundant, unknown, and may be called into action as a matter of defense at any moment. Prophet Noble Drew Ali knows the people within his ranks who are interested. They are vanguard of the movement as the Moorish hordes increase here in America. All of the Moors are active, not passive. A member's interest can only be in one direction, and having traveled over the road years before, the prophet knows where every member is along the road. A few feet below is another road where schemes work, where traitors grin, and culprits bask in the sun. They think they are on the same road with true Moors, but the Moors are high above on a pinnacle where they might view the destructionists as they fall for the last time, and their bones bleach in the sultry midday sun. Hungry scavengers flying high, catch scent, devour and leave crying out, cavveat emptore, cast out the dead carcass. The Moors high above see these plotters, purveyors, the worst that exist, hurl themselves downward by their own works as the hawks wait.
Islam, so can we be encouraged? Can we be encouraged? You know, they're going to be falling on their own bad planning. They're going to be failing on their own bad planning. You know, really, just so long as we keep our eyes on love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, you know, all that stuff will fall by the wayside. As one of the cartoons used to say, exit stage left. Exit. It's going to fall by its own bad planning. So a lot of things, some of us get a little, you know, in that mode where we hear things that, you know, might say, oh man, should I double check? Should I check? No, but you're fearless, independent, and upright. And these things will not affect you because you know your destiny. You know where you're going. So at this point, I yield. Are there any questions, comments, concerns, interjections, or objections?
Wow, that was just powerful. That was just so beautiful.
Yes. Thank you, Empress Bloom, for you're always so prepared. I appreciate that. Islam. Yes, go ahead, Empress.
Yeah, Melo. I just wanted to ask her where I can find that, because I'd like to have that.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yes, it is. It was wonderful. That's why I want it.
It's in the Moorish literature.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It's in the Moorish literature, but I'm sure one of us can take a picture of it today, right now, and text it to you. If you put your number in the chat, I can text it to you.
Thank you.
Okay, certainly.
All right, so do you feel that energy? Do you feel that energy?
Yes,
they try, but their own bad planning brings them down. You know, come on, we ain't got to worry about that.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt. I just realized that I'm on the phone because I couldn't log in on my computer, so I don't even see the chat. I was like, dang it. So, do you have her number so I can text it? Because I put the picture.
Yeah, well, like Tajiri or maybe someone else's number, because I don't like to give our numbers out on over.
No. I didn't ask for it. I said, do you have it? Because then I could have texted it to you, and then you could text it to her.
All right. I sure will. I have Sister Melo's. I have her.
Yeah. I didn't want her to think I wasn't keeping my word. It's just I'm not on the chat, so I apologize because I had it ready like right now, but I'm not on the computer, so. Okay, it's fine. I apologize.
Yeah, because be encouraged, Moors. Be encouraged. You know that this is going to happen. So why fear? We're upright, independent, and fearless. Why fear the dregs coming about? You know, because their bones will be bleached in the midday sun anyway. Because we'll be high above this. As Todd was teaching that Friday, we're ready for liftoff. I'm ready for liftoff. We're not going to be held down to this mundane crap that's here, you know. So y'all can talk all that stuff, you know, that I'm houseless. What you going to do about it? You know, I'm under lock and key. What you going to do about it? No, you know, you know, if you're a part of, you know, what the Prophet has brought us, the understanding of what the Moorish Divine and National Movement is, then a lot of these problems that you're making for yourself, it ain't got nothing to do with what the Prophet has said. It's just you're making it for yourself, bad for yourself. So at this point, I yield. Islam.
Remedy. There are many remedies to keep our defenses up when it comes to the energies that might come and try to infiltrate. One of the remedies is, especially for those who are highly active, who get a lot of the energies coming from different directions. And the energies sometimes come from Moors who just need help, and, you know, they call you and they dump a whole bunch of, you know, of the energy that they've been feeling and the pressure that they've been feeling. They dump a lot of that onto you. Yeah. One of the remedies is definitely meditation.
Yes.
Meditation for sure. That is a remedy. Yes. And also, if the energies are causing you to pause in your actions and your activities, then sometimes it's good to, as another tool in the tool chest, write the vision that you see for yourself where your nation and your government is concerned. What do you see for yourself? How do you see, what type domicile do you see yourself in? What type conveyance do you see yourself in? What functions do you see yourself fulfilling in your nation and your government? How do you see all of us when we are at what you would consider the pinnacle of our greatness? What does that look like for you? Write that vision down. Write it down, make it plain, and post it somewhere where you can see it. Post it several different places where you can see. I know for me, one thing that I can see is that all Moors are living the way they want to live, however they want to live. And I see us all gathering regularly to discuss government business in a manner that is absolutely 100% the way that we would like to gather. No one having any need, us having the best of everything. That's what I see, and when I'm working, that's the energy that I work with, is that all of us can gather together. If we say that we want to meet at a certain place at a certain time on a certain date, we don't even have to think twice about how we're going to get there and what we're going to eat when we get there and how things are going to manifest. What we're really thinking about is what we're going to discuss there, because that's more important. Because we already have everything we need and want, and we already know that those are not issues that we have anymore. We have other greater, bigger fish to fry than just the things that we're wanting to remedy right now, you know. And so while we're in this transitionary period, if we work with the end in mind, and it's not the end, it's work with that vision in mind of we're working to get to that place. If we work with that in mind, it's going to be a lot more difficult for someone to pick up the phone and inject some energy into what you're doing that would cause you to look around and say, well, yeah, I am doing all these affidavits, but I still don't have a domicile that matches what heirs should live in, you know, because most of us are in that situation, most of us, myself included, where, you know, we see that if we're the heirs to everything, then why are we missing so many things? But we cannot look at that because we're in this transitionary period. That energy cannot stop what we're doing. And in fact, it should motivate us. We don't have all the things that we want to have right now, and Moors are being tested right now because we're in that transitionary period. And if anyone thinks that it's an easy place to be in, just keep living. Just keep living. And you'll see that, yes, the heirs, we're the strongest nation and empire ever to exist. We're the strongest ever to exist. So our tests are going to match that which we are.
Islam.
They're going to match that, but that's nothing to be afraid of. In fact, bring it on. Simply because we can't be beat. We've never been. Even in our sleep, look at where we are now. Even in our sleep,
yes,
we were still unstoppable. They still needed our signatures for everything.
yes.
How much more now that we're awake? So we have to keep the vision of where we're going in mind, so that so that our energy can stay as consistently strong as possible. And when I say bring it on, I mean bring on the estate, because that's because it's ours. You know, I'm ready for it to manifest, and just like Empress Delilah and Grand Sheik Todd said, it's time for liftoff. It's time for liftoff.
Yes,
That's where we are.
Yes.
And some of the energies out there know that it's time for liftoff. They already see us. We already sitting in the rocket, ready to go. And they don't want us to go.
Mm-hmm.
They want us to stay with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
And we can't do that because that's not where we're supposed to be.
That's right.
Liftoff is the estate is ours. That's what liftoff is. The estate is ours, and we're manifesting that, and we're not going to be stopped by anyone, not even ourselves, because believe it or not, our ancestors are not going to let us stop ourselves. They'll move us out of the way and put some new Moors up there if that be the case. And the new Moors, I love them. Come on. We ready for you too. Islam. Yes. I yield the floor.
Islam. So, that copy. Oh, Islam. I yield.
Oh no, I was just gonna real quick. With Empress Light, I just have one little quick comment on that. As MC Hammer used to say a long time ago, can't touch this.
All right, and too legit to quit, okay? All of that.
Islam. So, I mean, Moorish, you have nothing to worry about. Papa done planned this out stuff out, long ago. And, you follow the prophet and hey, what we say? If Allah be with me, who can be against me? All right? And there was something else I wanted to camel walk with Sister Light when she said there's a lot of things that we have to do. To whom much is given, much is required. So if you're given a lot, there's a big requirement of that. And so don't. So don't be thinking that just because I'm a Moor. Yeah, all right. So there's something else that goes with that. There's something that goes with that. To whom much is given, much is required. And then also the other one I wanted to camel walk with you, the word want and need. All your needs are satisfied because Mama done gave it to you. You are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the blessed one mother has given you some. So all our needs are satisfied. Then wants, that's what we call, I lack this. I lack a bicycle, a brand shiny new bicycle. I want a brand new shiny bicycle. I want that. But see, like, as far as your needs, Mother has provided for all that. But, wants. Wants is a whole another realm that you talk about. I want a 5,000 note bed, because I want to sleep on that kind of stuff, or I need those kind of things that are here for the moment, because they're illusions and they will pass away, because that's part of our lower self. Because finite things have an end. Finite things, you can get a brand new bicycle, you can get a brand new bed and all that stuff that you desire, but the point of the matter, they have a beginning and they have an end. But that which is from the Most High, it has no beginning, it has no end. So at this point, I yield. Any questions, comments, concerns? Questions, comments, concerns? None? None? All right, So Bloom, can you read what is Islam for me, please?
Islam, yes. It's a powerful call, y'all. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Islam.
Islam, is that in the Moorish literature?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Page 7. What is Islam? Islam is a very simple faith. It requires man to recognize his duties toward God Allah, his creator, and his fellow creatures. It teaches the supreme duty of living at peace with one's surroundings. It is preeminently the religion of peace. The very name Islam means peace. The goal of a man's life, according to Islam, is peace with everything. Peace with Allah and peace with man. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, tells us that the final abode of man is the house of peace, where no vain word or sinful discourse will be heard. The holy divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali, says that a follower of Islam in the true sense of the word is one whose hands, tongue, and thoughts do not hurt others. Object of man's life, according to Islam, is its complete Unfoldment. Islam teaches that man is born with unlimited capacities for progress. Islam does not support the idea that man was born in sin. It teaches that everyone has within him the seed of perfect development, and it rests solely with himself to make or mar his fortune. The cardinal doctrine of Islam is the unity of the Father, Allah. We believe in one God, Allah, who is all God, all mercy, and all power. He is perfect and holy, all wisdom, all knowledge, and all truth. These are some of his great attributes so far as we can understand. He is free from all defect, holy and transcendent. He is personal to us insofar as we see his attributes working for us and in us, but he is nevertheless impersonal. Because he is infinite, perfect, and holy, we do not believe that death, decay, or sleep overtake him. Neither do we believe that he is a helplessly inactive and inert force. Nothing happens without his knowledge and will. He neither begets nor is he begotten, because these are the traits of frail and weak humanity. This unity of Allah is the first and foremost pillar of Islam, and every other belief hangs upon it. Islam, I yield.
Islam.
Beautiful.
So what are we saying? Islam is yes, Islamism. I, self, law, and master. And if we're practicing Islamism, it's I, self, law, and master in science and math. Islamism. That's I, self, law, and master in science and math. So if we're practicing that, if we're practicing to be at peace with ourselves, Islam, that's what we got to do, to know thyself. Know thyself and thy Father God Allah. Know thyself in Allah. Know that you are part of the creation and you are part of the Creator. And why would you, what to say? When man honors man, he honors Allah. So, when you look at the face of your brother, you're looking at the image of Allah. You're looking at the image of Allah. And you must look for the best in him and give him the best that is in you. Because what? Good is thy power. Good is thy power. So if the brother comes to you and says those things, you're looking for the best in him. And you're looking for the best in him, you must look for the best that is within you. It is just that, to look for the best in others and give them the best, because purity paves the way for love and sincerity. Sincerity. That was one of the first things that Brother Todd taught. How do you know whether someone's pineal gland is open or their third eye or their first eye is open? You know it by their sincerity. You know it by their sincerity. And if you're on the same path as I'm understanding what the path is, you can smell someone who is not sincere. You can smell them. They're part of the smelly culprits. You can smell someone who's not sincere in their intent, who's asking you something that, they should be studying, looking for themselves. Because it says study, study, study. And when you have studied well, you ask me what next to study. Study yourselves again. So the point of the matter is, you will be able to smell these smelly culprits coming upon you. And so you cannot be turned around. You will not be turned around. You shall not be turned around. The thought of the thing is establishing principles of action and seeing that you ever act according to them. And what are our principles? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You ain't got time for nothing else but love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You ain't got no time for nothing but love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And at this, I yield the floor. Any comments, questions, concerns, objections? Any?
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yes, Mom. That's beautiful. I mean, you're speaking for all of us, through all of us, with all of us. I mean, it's that's it.
I have a question.
Islam. Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I was wondering, my child was kidnapped by Child Welfare Services, and I was wondering how to report him missing to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, or work closely with the military to find him without losing jurisdiction.
Like Jerry, you want to take this one?
Yes.
You want to take this one?
Yes, I'll be happy to. I wanted to give anyone else an opportunity to say something, but I'm happy to take that. So, Empress, have you first declared your nationality?
Yes.
Okay. Have you terminated all corporate contracts?
Yes.
Okay. And that's on the public record?
Correct.
Okay. Your next strategy is going to be, have you leaned them, whoever it is that took that kidnapped
Yes.
there? Okay.
Yes.
And then you need to do a sovereign court action.
I've done that.
When did you do your court action? When did you do your court action?
A week ago.
Okay. Do you have, so you were the justice who did the court action, etc.? Is that what I'm hearing?
Correct.
And you held court, and you sent them a command to appear in court?
Correct.
Islam.
Okay.
Islam.
Mm-hmm.
I need to interject here. I've been talking and working with this Empress, and Empress, you have not done a court action. Please be honest and forthright, okay? This is not a place to play games or anything. You truly want answers to your questions. You, first of all, are going to have to be open and honest about everything, okay? I know you're hurting. I know what you're going through, but you're going to have to be open and honest first so that you can get open and honest answers.
I did court action for the judges, the sheriff, and the police for Yolo County, Health and Human Services Agency, and CPS.
Islam, can anyone hear me? I interject real quick. This is Brother
Yes, Islam.
Go ahead.
You say, first of all, you're not judges, they're magistrates, ministerial clerks. You got to know that. You should address them as that. Have you sent out an affirmative of jurisdiction? Do you know what that is?
Affirmate. You said affirmate of jurisdiction. No, I didn't.
There's a document that deals with your right, your will and your right, which is a quo warranto, by what way and what right. And then there's an affirmate, which is your strong affirmative statement made in law, or you have standing in law if you're in your proper person. So any statement you make is affirmative. Therefore, you can send an affirmative of jurisdiction, a document that's called an affirmative of jurisdiction, quo warranto. This goes after their bonds. You at least set the stage. That's standard protocol. That you need to go, when Mother, like Jerry is saying, did you lien them, that's what she's talking about. You need to go through the actual process steps of the protocol of liening them. That starts with an affirmative of jurisdiction. You have a right to discovery and disclosure because under occupation, you are not being disclosed of what's going on in their operations. Therefore, you need to submit a writ with a statement containing your right to discovery and disclosure. That way you catch them in a catch-22. They damn if they do, they damn if they don't, because that's a double power right there. Without them supplying you the affiant which you are with that disclosure, they're already in violation. Thus, you're setting up the lien by simply defaulting them after that. Carry your court action out where you hold your legal retinue, thus the Article 3 venue that they have set up for you as a justice to call them to order. Follow the protocols. But you must first identify all parties involved. Do not call them what they're not. If you don't know what they're not, go find out what they're not. So when you speak the term judge, you're going to be write a writ from that energy concept, even if you write it as a magistrate. Your mental concept, because it's all mental, man is mind. So your mental concept is going to come from the standpoint of writing a writ, calling them a judge or an officer or a cop or something like to that note, which you shouldn't. They are ministerial clerks. Right. Once you know that they are ministerial clerks, you will address them as such. There are 2 Supreme Court case laws by their own de facto standing that qualifies that. It's Thompson versus Smith and Burns versus Superior Court. These 2 case law, Supreme Court case laws you can find in your Black Law Dictionary, where the Thompson versus Smith identifies them as being merely acting as ministerially, thus identifying them as a ministerial clerk. Now you have identified them as a ministerial clerk.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you have identified them as a ministerial clerk, Burns versus Superior Court identifies them that they cannot have any judicial standard.
Excuse me, brother, may I interrupt, please?
Yes, I do.
I don't have a case. They don't have a case. They just took him to try to get me to do whatever they want.
That is the case. That is the case. That is the case. From their perspective, that is the case. From your perspective, court can be held anywhere where you hold your legal retinue. So your counter, being a proper person, your civic obligation and duty is to challenge their jurisdiction.
Thank you.
To challenge their jurisdiction. I yield the floor.
Islam. Justice, the brother that just spoke, would you state your appellation, please?
Harron L.
Yes, Islam. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
To the Empress, know that we are with you in all of your demonstrations that you're doing. We're with you. You're not doing it alone. We are here as well. It is incumbent upon all of us to, when we're faced with things like that, to have the protocols in place. The protocols are in place, just like the brother was just saying. We must follow those protocols and processes because they're going in a specific direction that will make it so that it ties the hands of the colonizers. Mm-hmm. When we follow the protocols laid out by our government and our nation, which is what the brother was saying, and that's why I was asking the questions that I was asking to see if protocol has been followed. And once protocol has been followed, they cannot hold the heirs. The termination of corporate contracts, even for the heir, is very important because that's going to untie any connections or contracts that they may have. Because, see, somewhere in their system, they see a contract that has not been terminated. That's the only way they can do that.
Yes.
There's joiners somewhere.
Yes.
Okay. Somewhere in their system, they see. Hold on for just a moment. Hold on for just a moment. Somewhere in their system, they see something that's not terminated. Okay. And so that needs to be looked at. From the time that you do your termination of corporate contract, you cannot again sign another contract with them. You see what I'm saying? The contract, your termination of corporate contracts must be honored by you first. Okay? So somewhere in their system, how long has the heir been gone?
He's been gone since August 6th.
Okay. Somewhere in their system, they're seeing a contract that has been signed even somewhere in there. And that has to be rectified. It has to be terminated.
I was wondering how could I use my sovereign resources to find him?
You don't know where he is?
No, they won't let him talk to me or anything.
So then you do know where he is. You just said they just don't know. You just don't know, or you're saying they won't give you access to him. Is that what I mean?
Access, information, or even any type of contact. Unless I go to court.
Wait.
You're going to have to challenge jurisdiction. You're going to have to do that, just like the brother was saying.
I sent in the mail notice for removal. And corporate contracts in the mail.
Okay, you are the one who removes it. You're the justice who removes it. That's why the court actions are important. You're the justice who removes it. So you need to a clear overstanding of the demonstration that you're doing is necessary. We always say demonstrate at the level of your overstanding because you can do a bunch of things and not understand what you're doing and then undo them. You see what I'm saying? So I want to be sure that you have a clear understanding of exactly what you're doing and that you're not doing things in a manner that where you're throwing a bunch of paperwork around, but you don't really know what you're throwing, what you're using. Okay, I want to be sure that you have a clear, clean, peaceful, solid understanding of what it is you're doing. Okay. Okay.
Me too.
Because it sounds like you did a bunch of things in a hurry. That's what it sounds like, and I could be wrong. You can always, you know, it sounds like you did a bunch of things, but there's not a clear understanding of what those things are. Okay. So how can we assist you in calming things down so that you understand exactly what the protocols that you're doing and why you're doing them?
Just go over it with me, make sure I'm not missing nothing, because I don't trust the courts to actually, or any of them to care about anything, because this is why they snatched them up. So I was just wondering what type of resources that we have for child abduction.
You are the resource. You are the resource. That is your heir. You're the resource. And again, they can't do anything or make any fiat off of that when the termination of corporate. See, there has to be a clear understanding of what has been done. Okay, so you've already, if the termination of corporate contracts is on the public record, you've already taken their ability to make any finance off of holding the heir.
For me and my son, it's on public record. But who do I give it to? Do I give it to the courts, CPS, or because I don't want to go into the courts. I don't want to go into their jurisdiction.
This is good. Thank you for sharing that, because it does shed some more light on the understanding of what's been done. When you do a court action, and this is why I was asking those questions, is to find out if there's a clear understanding. When you do a court action, then you already know you don't have to go into their courts because you've already done a court action. So you have to understand why you're doing the court action in order to properly enforce what you're doing. If we have court, then why do we even need to go to their court? Why? Okay, but that's something that you have to know that through your study. Okay, your study will tell you what you can and cannot do. Okay, and so that's why I asked about the court action. So you also mentioned that you need to know who to send things to. Okay.
Yes. By mail.
That's going to be very, very important to demonstrate at the level of your understanding. Okay. So yes, you want to notify anyone who's claiming the heir. You want to notify all of them.
Okay.
It's not about what they will let you do. You don't have to wait for them to let you do anything. Your job is to send competent affidavits to them, telling them that you are the authority on your land where the heir is concerned. Okay, and that is a knowing that you will have as you study what you're doing, exactly the processes that you're doing. Because what you don't want to do is do a bunch of processes and not know exactly why you're doing those processes. We do court actions because our courts are actually the only lawful courts. So for them to even call someone into court, they're not even talking to you. You have to know that also. They're not talking to you, Empress. They're not talking to you. They're not talking to the heir. But they have the heir because, again, they saw something where there was something saying that you did not know they weren't talking to you. Something saying that. And we all have been there. I've been there also, where they were talking to me, and I didn't know back in 2017 that I didn't have to do anything they told me to do because they don't have the authority. And when I did it, they took me. But now we know better, so they can't take us anymore. And that's the place we want to assist you in getting to where they can't, where they have to return the heir and get you and give you back all that is yours and never be able to take the heir again. Okay, and that's going to take a little bit of time and understanding. And when I say time, I mean as far as your study is concerned, it can take 1 day or 2 days, depending on your study, your level of study, and understanding of what it is you're actually doing. So here's what I'd like for you to do, Empress. Make a list of the things that you have done so that we can look at that list of things that you've done and then assist you in understanding what to do next, okay? Because it seems like, you know, we're here to help. So we want to be sure that we know exactly what's been done so that we can follow the protocols like the brother was saying. You don't want to do a court action when you have not invoked jurisdiction in the first place. You see what I'm saying? So we want to make sure that everything has been done properly so that they can return the heir. Because they don't have a choice. They have to return the heir. They know that. They already know that. But they're looking for orderly invocation of sovereign status. Okay? So, Empress, are you willing to continue working with the Moors that you've been working with so that you can at least provide a listing of the things that have been done so far so that we can look at those things and then assist you and guide you a little bit further in that process?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Let us do that. Let us assist you in that manner. Again, it is incumbent upon you, and it seems like you've been doing the work. We appreciate that. That is highly, you deserve high honors for the demonstrations that you've done thus far with regard to your heir. Okay? So stay encouraged there and be prepared to do more work because that's what it's going to take. And with a clear understanding of what you're doing. Islam?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Islam. Empress Malo, will you continue to work with her? Just get a list of have her to write what she has done thus far, and then see if see what needs to be done, and you know, proper execution and the absence of capital letters, et cetera, et cetera.
Islam.
Islam.
And I will contact her.
Thank you, Malo.
Islam.
This is Sister Carla. I just had a question from Fairfax. The brother that gave the information, is he on a phone tree or somewhere we could contact him?
I'm on. You're talking about Brother Aronel? I have an email.
Yes. Email, please.
Email me at HARUNALSHIDEL@yahoo.com. It should read out all lowercase.
Can I repeat this back to you? Or can you put it in the chat?
Say again.
Can I repeat it?
Yes.
HARUNALSHIDEL. Thank you.
Yahoo.com. It should read in lowercase, all lowercase, Harun al-Rashid Il.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. And it's in the chat as well.
Small interjection. Can I camel back off you, Mother Elijah Jerry?
Islam, yes.
It is important that you don't identify them as corporate, meaning that you don't call it the state of what or the cop or the judge. You identify the person, so write their actual name when you're addressing them. Speak to them like this, Joe Blow down the block. And you write this ad. If Mr. Smith took the child, then that's who took the child, Mr. Smith. You hold Mr. Smith and don't let you pierce that corporate veil.
Yes.
I yield the floor.
Islam, thank you, Justice Harun. We really appreciate that because it's important that we identify the colonizers by their slave servant names who's attempting to do that they're doing. Islam. Are there any other questions or comments as well? Empress Delilah, we yield the floor to you, Empress.
I thought I heard one more Islam. Is it one more Islam? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yes, Cynthia Ande here. Islam. I would like to suggest that, in order for her to understand, who she truly is, at the present moment right now, I'm watching the videos Seton Ra on the Constitution and the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. I feel it would give her a really good foundation, who she is and who they are, and it would aid to the process that she's going through right now. Islam.
Yes, thank you for that, Empress. It is going to take some study. We must know who we are as we're demonstrating.
Yes.
Islam. And however you do that, there are Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey has some awesome videos out there with regard to who we are and who they are. I mean, he never failed to point out who they are and who we are in any of his videos. So I would encourage you to watch every one you can find by Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey as well. Islam. I yield.
Islam. So I was trying to keep in line with the curriculum that I had set up, in terms of doing the 101 steps or 101 miles of, for as more as working and walking towards getting to their higher selves. Now, I've broken it down in numbers, also as well as in cosmological and astrological terms, because as we were walking, Brother Iran and myself, we were walking. I said, let's walk, take a walk with me, And so we were going down the path of learning who and what the prophet has left for us, the understanding of what our creed is, our divine creed, because that's where we're heading towards knowing self, knowing your higher self, knowing your lower self, knowing that, you start out as a child and that you must grow up and get out of that childlike mindset, that somebody's there to always rescue you, No, a competent being can take care of self. He's self-sufficient and he is self-determinative. He can determine for self-determination. He knows who he is and how to take, he and her know how to take those steps, those measures to get to that higher consciousness, And so I think we had done 17, what is our religion, which I said Islamism, and then as I shared a little earlier, Islam means I self-law and master in science and math. So to get to that point of understanding you must know and be who you say you are. If you don't know who you are, how can you express who you are? And that is the whole point of knowing thyself, all right? And so I was looking at the number 17 is number 17, which is the letter Q in the English alphabet, the letter Q. And Q is the backside of the God, the backside. R is the front side, the head, and Q is the backside. And if I do the reduction of 7 plus 1, that's 8. I'm looking at the 8th house, which would be Scorpio. So I'm looking at those kinds of energies to understand where we got to go to. We got to understand our relationship to the cosmos, as above, so below. And as I said before, and as my young sister had shared with me, she said, to whom much is given, much is required. So let's be about the business of getting to where we once were before, because it says, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thine own blood. And so we are getting to that point of understanding that, hey, there's a blood tie. There's a blood tie here on this land, and it does not include. It did include lower self energies, but now as we're raising ourselves, our energies up higher, and realizing we're looking at self, and some of us are afraid of looking at self because it can be humongous. Self can be humongous. That higher self can be humongous, and sometimes we just don't want to face ourselves, and we just rather run away, or as they say, fight or flight. And so we just, we rather flee away from the situation. But no, you got to face yourself. You got to come to terms with yourself. You got to realize self that, we're just not merely human flesh, that we're divine flesh, and we can rise up above and beyond that which we are in the physical form. And we all know we came down here for that physical experience. We're here to shed light. We're here to get that, to help the age of mind or the age of man or the growth of man or growth of mind. That's what the word world means. All right, so I go on. So are there any questions so far? I just keep on going for a couple more questions, a couple more of the questionnaire. 18. Is that a new or is that the old-time religion? Old-time religion. 8 and 1 is 9, all right, so that's completion. 19. What kind of a flag is the Moorish? It is a red flag with a 5-pointed green star in the center. 19. 9 and 1 is 10. That begins again. 20. What do the 5 points represent? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So that's the 2. That's the 2. The 2 become 1. And the cipher is the 0 is the cipher. 21. How old is our flag? It is over 10,000 years old, but in the 102s it says it is over 50,000 years old. So Mama been around doing her work for quite a few years. So 2 and 1 is 3. So the 3 combined. The triune Allah, wisdom, will, and love. 22. Which is our holy day? Friday. 23. Why? Because Friday is the day on which man was formed in flesh, and it was on Friday that when he departed out of flesh. So Friday. Friday is the day of Venus. That is NIL. So Friday, Venus, the Venus energy, the love energy. 3 and 2 is 5. So there again, that's the part of the Eloha. 5 fingers on the right, 2 fingers on the left. You know, you got the sun and the moon on your right-hand side, and you got the other planets on the left-hand side. 24. Who was Jesus? He was a prophet of Allah, or who was justice. In the other words, it says, who was justice? He is a prophet of Allah. 25. Where was he born? In Bethlehem of Judah, in the house of David. So Judah is Leo. So we got 5 and 2 at 7. There you go. 2 on the right and 5 on the left. So in this case, it's 25. So 7, 5 and 2 is 7. And there again, we're talking about the Elohim. You know, all the Elohim. 26. Who were his father and mother? Joseph and Mary. 27. 6 and 2 is 8. 27. Will you give in brief the line genealogy through which Jesus came? Some of the great fathers through which Jesus came are, I say are, I didn't say were, are Abraham, Boaz by Ruth, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah, and Joseph by Mary. So 7 and 2 is 9. There's the 9, the completion. 28. Why did Allah send Jesus or justice to this earth? To save the Israelites from the iron hand oppression of the pale-skinned nations of Israel, of Europe, who were governing a portion of Israel at that time, Palestine, who were governing a portion of Palestine, I beg your pardon, at that time. So 8 and 2 is 10, so we come again to 1 and 0, the cipher. So at this time, I'm going to yield. Are there any questions? Because I don't want to get too far ahead as we're walking these 101 miles. Are there any questions, comments, concerns, interjections, or objections? Islam? No?
I hear you, brother. I'm waiting too.
Islam. All right. So 29. How long has that been? About 2,000 years ago. That's when all the stuff started. And as the prophet said, you know, those who were with me 2,000 years ago are with me today. Those who were against me 2,000 years ago are against me today. And so, you know, that's why all this jealousy and hatred, you know, that's why I continually read the letter. I read the letter all the time. There's a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same side of the nation who claim it was only a joke and unreal. No, this ain't no joke or unreal. Just because you can't see this what's going on in terms of your perspective and not having shed that skin You got new wine and you're trying to pour it in old skins. No, if you got new wine, if you got a new attitude, you got a new life, you don't pour that in old skin. No, as the snake has shed its skin, we shed our skins, because as you look at yourself from 2 years old to you're full grown, there is a vast difference. There's a vast difference between two. And you shed 1,000 times that skin to get to where you are, and we're still continually shedding skin. Every night, every day, every moment we shed skin to get on that, to bring about that new wine, that new perspective, that new view of who you truly are, that self that sometimes we're afraid to face, but we must face it, or else we're not demonstrating competence. All right? All right. So that was 30. So that's 3. That's a 3. So 31. What is the modern name for the Moabites? Moroccans. That's 3 and 1. 3 and 1 is 4. All right. That's the 4. So 4 is again mother, because the 4th house is Cancer, and Cancer has to do with the mother energy, the mother principle, or your parents. All right. So what is the modern name for the Moabites, Moroccans? All right. 32. That 3 and 2 is 5.
Small interjection, Mother, before you move on, because you took the 3 and you added it to the 4 with the 31. In numerology, 3 plus 1 is 4, plus coming off of the 3. Both of them dealing with the nationality of being Moabite. So there's your triune principle.
Right.
Your triune principle and the 7, the 7, the Elohim.
Right. Right, because the 3 is I think, and the 1 is that I am. The 1 is I am. The 3 is I think, and I think I am at this point. What is the modern name? So we got to be clear about what the modern name is for the Moabites. Because if you're unsure, you don't know, you can't be who you know. And when you know better, you do better. So let's
numerology. Numerology is therefore revealed, and is correlative. Islamism,
Islam
is the math.
Yes, it's the math. Are there any questions, concerns, comments, interjections, or objections? Because, I want them objections too, because that's how Moors do the science of being Moors. Let's hear them objections. If you got some objections, come on, bring it on. Come on, let's be about the business of being Moors, because we got to grow up to this. Islam. Islam, any more? Do you have any questions, comments, concerns, objections? Huh? Anybody? All right. So here we go to 32. Where is the Moroccan Empire? Northwest of Mexam. So 3 and 2 is 5. 3 and 2. So that's thinking, and 2 is I have. Because that's the second, house, is I have. And the 3 is I think. I think I have. Or I can say it the other way. I have, I think, because as we would say, someone was saying, I'm houseless. You're not homeless. You're not homeless. You may be, Islam, I yield.
I said you have standing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Islam.
The Moroccan Empire, where you're standing. You're standing.
Islam.
If you're standing, the 5 numerology correlated to the 5 principles. You stand by way of your nativity by your 5 principles. Thus, that is your estate. All in one. Man is mind. Man is estate. Therefore, you're standing where you're with your jujitsu standi, where you are. The northwest. Morocco.
And 5 is also marriage and union. So that's
Islam. Yes.
That's that union of the empire to over here. So it's like that marriage, and then that 3 is the yang, and the 2 is the yin. So that's the masculine and feminine coming together. So it's like speech.
Islam. And so And number 5 is, you know, I will, which is Leo, the house of Judah. You know, your house of Judah.
Islam. And that Leo, that's your house of creativity, your procreation. And so therefore, this is the house we play. This is the house that gives us pleasure. So we here to play.
I just learned something, Empress Bloom. That's good, because I'm a Leo as well. I'm learning. I'm here to learn. Islam.
All right. 33. Oh, my goodness. 33. You know, you have 33 bones from your coccyx to your neck. That's 33 bones climbing up there, you know. And so you got the 3 and the 3 and the 3. What's the 3 and the 3? I think. If I could just get you to thinking, you can go, you save yourself. I think. All right. So what is the modern name for a Mexum? Africa, because I'm thinking. Islam.
And you see that it wasn't even, he didn't even put the Northwest, because we are Northwest.
Islam.
People got a Mexum, so that's just all, wherever they call it.
Yeah.
So we're the Northwest, so prophet the man.
See,
we gonna learn today.
And so 3 and 3 is 6. So what is 6 is I analyze. That's the 6th house is I analyze. So I'm analyzing what we're doing here with our thinking, as I'm thinking. You know, I'm analyzing as I'm thinking, you know. Islam.
And 33 represent master teacher.
That's right. That's right. Islam. Yeah, got some thinking Moors on the line. They got some thinking Moors.
And you know, and then you want to, even if you want to deduce it down to the 6, you know, well, 6 is sex, 6, creation, creativity. And so then if he's talking about the, you know, up on the plane, like that 6, that 6 chakra, that's that pineal right there. So
Islam.
We are in the 6th month now, too, by the way.
Islam. That's right. Sure enough. And ruled by Mercury.
Yes.
You know, the word. In the beginning was the word. You know, Mercury is the word. Jehuti, Taf, the word, you know. Hey, the word.
Empress, can you say a little bit more about that? About Mercury ruling the 6th month, etc. Can you say just a little bit more about that?
All right. So Mercury is, you know, Mercury is a planet, or the Elohim, that deals with thought. It deals with communication. Because, like as we said when we first started, I think we ran into Mercury in retrograde. So we had to reassess, revitalize, renew, reestablish, recreate. You know, we had to go over those things that we had had been through, but we needed to reflect, you know, that energy that is being communicated to us as Moors on this planet, as Moabites on this planet, as, you know, high science beings on this planet, you know, as navigating elves on this planet, you know, to remind ourselves, you know, that record, you know, record that, you know, so, you know, as navigating elves, hey, we got to be sharp. We got to be sharp.
Exactly. And that's the gift of that retrograde. That's exactly what it is. Such a gift, because it does remind us. It rewinds us so we won't miss it. Like, it'll be, even if it gets down in the recesses of our minds, it's there. It's guaranteed that it's there. You can pull it up. You can recall.
Yes, recall. Yes, recall. Recycle. You can recycle that stuff, you know. Bring it back around again,
Reversion
you know.
of the state, Islam.
Islam.
That's happening. That is happening right now. Reversion of the state.
Islam.
That's real.
All right.
I like that.
So
Islam.
Yes, Islam.
I need some understanding.
Go ahead.
Going to the current calendar, I have July as the 4th month in the year. So the calendar that you're going by, denoting that this is the 6 months. How do I get to that knowledge? What
all right. All right, so we begin with the new year. So when is the new year? It's March 31st, March 31st, and that's Aries. Aries begins the new. We always calculate from the beginning, which is the Aries, which is the I am. You know, you come into existence, the I am, the Aries. So if you look at your natal chart, you know, it always starts with the Aries. Aries will be there on the left-hand side. You know, it will be on the left-hand side. So you yes. Is it what?
March 21st.
No, yeah, 21st.
Oh, yeah,
you said 31st.
Yeah, March.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Yes, March 21st, and there. Yeah, March 21st, and there you get.
Okay.
So that's the beginning of the new year, because that's when things start budding and growing again. That's your planting season. That's when, you know, you start putting things in, and they start flowering and everything comes. And the North Gate. Let me clear that up. In the North Gate, that's where, you know, spring has sprung. And then the equinoxes, you know, the equinox, that's when the equinox, that's how we measure time by equinox. You know, the seraphim sit there and measure time with the equinoxes, you know. And so that's how we measure time. We used to measure time, you know. That's how we began our seasons, you know. And so the I am, that's where you come into existence, the I am. And so that's where you know, if you do a little more examining, that's why, you know, Aries, then comes Taurus, then comes Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and then comes Virgo, and Virgo is the 6th based on the cycles, how the cycles we used to do, how we used to cipher. Because this is the temple of the moon and the sun, and we've lost some of our, you know, our sharp edge with regard to this. It didn't go away. It didn't go all the way away from us, but we still got to sharpen up our swords, you know, and get on point with regard to, you know, who and what we were. We are the mothers and fathers of civilization. So we created everything that ever is, was, and ever more to be. So, you know, why are we playing like we don't know? You know, why are we playing like we don't know? It is what it is, and let's get back into those places of where we once were before. But let's take it up to a higher level, because you know, we did slow it down, the vibration, because, you know, we slowed it down because we wanted to see the sensations and all of love. It says the perfumes, the odors, the true sensations, and the all of love. We wanted to feel those things, so we slowed down our vibration until we got to, you know, being what we are. But the metaphysics of it, as you said, me to physics. When you said that to me, like me to physics, metaphysics, me to physics. So I got to raise myself up to the, you know, past the physical, you know, get past the physical, get to the higher self, because as we know, metaphysics is the science of being. It deals with the ultimate reality. The ultimate reality is that we're what do you call it, jumpers. We're actually multi-level beings. You know, we're parallel. We can work in parallel universes. In other words, we can fold time and space. So we're working on what we got to remember. Let's just remember who we are. We forgot. You know, let's call, and that's why I'm sharing this. Because we're ready for liftoff. We're ready for liftoff. This is we're going to be hot. Yes, it's time for flight. You know, because that's what it says. Because what did it say? They try and try, but their own bad planning brings down wrath. Come on, Boone, where are you at?
Where are you at? Where are you reading from?
Cavveat emptore.
Okay, all right, thank you. I'm like, you know, I told you got to give me a cue before you. All right, where are you? Which paragraph?
All right, so the second one. They try and try.
But their own bad planning brings down wrath upon their heads, like the sword old Damocles had.
No, Damocles.
Damocles. All right, Damocles had intrigue and scurrilous cunning find a difficult path to travel within the ranks of the Moors. This is so because the Moorish movement has been well planned by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, whose latent powers are abundant, unknown, and may be called into action as a matter of defense at any moment. We can call on the Prophet.
Yes. Yes, and so you know, hey, we can leave these lower selves in the dust, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave this lower self in the dust and be high above. You know, watch as they fall, as the lower self falls away. Because hey, at a given point, we don't need our lower selves. Because like once you've grown up, you know, you don't need that baby skin no more. You know, you shed that baby skin.
Yes.
You know, at 7 years old, you shedded the teeth. You didn't have no teeth in the front, you know. You lost them teeth, you know, and then you come to 14 and you're thinking about boys or girls, you know. You're thinking in that line, you know, about that, you know. And then 21, at least you can think about how you want to. Can you contract and competently contract? So there's a different level, and this all has to do with
just the numerology. I don't even mean to cut your wisdom, but it's like it's so beautiful because you're saying 14, so that's the 5, that's the union. You said thinking of boys and girls, so that's the time. Yeah, thinking of masculine and feminine coming together. Then 21 is that 3. 1 + 1 makes 3. So contracting, you and whoever you're contracting with, creating a third. So yes, all of that. Yes, keep going, keep rolling. I'm just.
I'm learning. Keep going, y'all. Islam.
Got roller skates on. Y'all got your roller skates on? Come on, let's roller skates. Skate, bounce, skate, bounce. Islam. Are the Moors? Are we Moors having a good time, enjoying who we are, and learning who? For lift off? Yes. Ready for lift off?
Yes. It's fine. We here to play.
Islam. All right. So 34. What is the title given to our ruler in Morocco? Sultan. All right. So 3 + 4 is 7, and there again, the 3 and the 4. The thinking and the feeling, of what it is we're about, the Moroccan Empire. And that's the 7 again. That's the 7. That's the completion because we're the Moroccan Empire. Wherever we lay our heads, we are what? Home. What's the girl say? When I think of home, I think of a place with love overflowing. You know? Yes. Right?
Yes.
That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying. I'm thinking of a place with love overflowing. Yes, I may get twisted around, but still give me something from the Most High, and I still will make it. I'm making it home. Home. All right. So that's 34. 35. Where do we get the name Jesus, or where do we get the name Justice? And Sister Maylo, where do we get the name Justice? Huh? Sister Maylo, although it's in this one it says from the east, but we get it from the west. All right, yes. Jesus. We get the name from Jesus from the east, from the west, and the going within. Justice. Where do we get justice from the east? That's where we get justice from within. That's where you're going to get your justice from within. From within.
And that's it, because the east is where the sun rises, and the sun rises within.
Yes, rises within. Yes, indeed. Yes. All right. So
Islam.
36. Islam.
Can I run that reference 8 to Noble Drew Ali's birthday, the day he was born on the 8th?
Right.
Yeah, Islam, brother. And the Eightfold Path of the Buddha, which is the number of completion.
Yes.
Graduation with that knowledge.
Yeah, we're going to graduate. All right. So, 36. What does the name Jesus mean? Jesus means justice. So, we ask, would Jesus return? Yeah, justice is going to return. It is return. It is return. Not going to return. It is return. Justice is here right now. All right, so that's a six in the.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the divine 9. Go ahead. Go ahead. Come on.
Wait for someone to say that.
Yeah, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
That's right.
Divine 9.
Birth at the end of 3-6, so it's birth.
Yes.
It's here.
And your hair is a 9 too. Your hair is a 9. Your antenna to the Most High. You know, that's how we can receive the messages and transmit the messages. Although we as Moors, we keep our heads covered, but if we ever go out there, you know, hey, the point of the matter is you can make that connection. You can transmit and receive that energy that is from the Most High. Islam?
Exactly.
Islam?
That's why we are heirs, and we do receive those things through our antenna, our hair, you know, and that is that 9, because we're always being birthed and recreated when we stay attuned and in tune with that alignment, that divine 9. Absolutely. Islam.
So, 37, did the angel give to the child that was called Jesus a holy name, or justice, a holy name? Yes, but it cannot be used by those who are slaves to sin. So justice, you know, if you're using the word justice, and those who are slaves to sin, they don't know justice. They ain't gonna know justice, all right? And so, and then here we got 3 and 7. So 3 is I think, and 7 is Scorpio, which is I desire to think, all right? And so you got the 7 and the 3 is the 10. That's the 10. The 10 becomes the 1 again, you know, the 1 in the cipher, the 1 in the cipher, the 1 in the O, all right?
7 is Libra. Scorpio is 8.
Scorpio is 8? 7. Oh, yeah, I apologize. You're right, Libra. I apologize. Let me be corrected.
That's it too, because there it is, justice. There it is. That's the holy name.
Yes. Yes.
Islam.
So yes, I stand corrected. Yes. Come on now. Come on, Moors. Come on. Bring it up. Bring it on up. Bring it on up. Bring it on up. All right. 38. What is an angel? An angel is a thought of Allah manifested in human flesh. So you got that's this Scorpio, that's the desire, all right? You know, the 3, I think I desire. So I think I desire to be in human flesh. I think I desire to be in human flesh. So I can get this lesson here. I came here for the perfume, the odors, the true sensations, and the all of love. You know, so I'm birthing myself. So 3 and 8 is 11, and that's 11 is the 11th month, which is 11th, which is Aquarius. All right, so Aquarius is I know. All right, so I know that I'm an angel. I know that I have come in human flesh.
And that's also from being from just thinking of yourself to thinking of the whole, everyone, all creation. So that 11 is 1 from the 1. So it's like, but it's still connected to the 1. So yeah, absolutely. That yes, Islam.
Islam. All right. So I did 38. I did 38, right? So 39. What are angels used for? What are angels used for? To carry messages to the 4 corners of the world, to all nations. World, again, the world means age of man, or growth of man, or age of mind, or growth of mind, all right? So I'm just sharing, whenever you see that word world from now on, think of age of man or growth of man, or age of mind or growth of mind, all right? Because you got to start activating these principles that the prophet has laid down for us. You got to activate this stuff, you know. So all right. So 39. So 3 is again I think, and 9 is I think I see. I think I see. I think I see. And then 9. And 9 and 3 is 12, and then that's the religion. You know, I believe in that I'm real. You know, I'm real. Because see, like that's what Dorothy was saying. You know, she said, I believe I'm real. You know, because I can see that I am real. Because I can know that I am real. Because I done went on that journey and got strength, courage, and wisdom. You know, I done got them 3 things: strength, courage, and wisdom. You know, and I done pierced. And I pierced the veil of Oz. You know, I pierced that veil of that ounce. I pierced the veil. So, you know, and Toto means all right? So dog, the dog, you know, dog, God, dog, D-O-D, D-O-G. So the God pierced that veil, you know, Toto, you know?
So, and then that 12 is the zodiac wheel, so that's all the angles. The angels are the angles, and they carry the messages to the four corners. That's the four elements, so that's all of that, all the nations. And so that 12 is in that. And then you said the Pisces. You said the Pisces, and so, yeah, believing in those angles, believing in the angels, you know, those, it's Islam. So all those houses
Islam.
in that wheel.
Islam.
I yield.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We have about 13 minutes. And also, Empress Malo has a court action in about 13 minutes. So,
all right.
Yes. And I will put her court action information is in the chat right now. We want to make sure that we are able to support her for her court action.
Yes.
Delilah, will you please text it to me because I'm not in the chat, please? Thank you.
All right. So
and also with the 39, and that's a powerful altogether. Our whole number system, our whole math is new. We were taught the worst math by that animal system, the animal education system. And I'm so glad that we now are able to use our math and even our words, because I've been thinking about what you've been saying. You've repeated, I think, many times in this call, Empress Delilah, many times. And it just occurred to me that when we were in our sleep and we said, I think, that meant that we were not sure about something.
Right.
But now that we're awake, I think is now a statement of fact. It's not. It's not a guessing thing. It's a statement of fact. It's saying I think. That means I know. I'm thinking about it. And whenever we think, we're coming to the real. You know, we're coming to the real information. So if we say now that when we're awake, if I say I think, that's a statement of fact.
M-R-O.
We can hear you. We can hear him doing his homeschooling with. They are thinking. That's right. They're using that mind power.
Islam.
All right, Sister Light, can you send me the info so I can send it to Sister Bloom? You know, because for today, you know, because. Yeah, all right. So I appreciate that, you know. And then, like I say, we had a joke going amongst ourselves when we were practicing. The O and the K have a certain significance, all right, and they have it's an acronym, and it means it's a military operation. It means order of the kill. So you'll rarely ever hear me say O and K together. You rarely ever hear me. And when we used to greet and meet together, when we had a class here at Shaka Maxim, what we would do is every time someone would say that, we would charge them 50 cents, you know, and that's how we accumulated finance, you know, a little bit of finance and stuff like that. But order of the kill, or AK, all killed, because it had to do with that battle in Battle Creek, Michigan, when the Moors placed their children and older people in the caves, and they went to do battle on the Battle Creek, Michigan, and someone dropped a dime that's where they were, and they were out there battling and kicking butt, and then when they came back, you know, to find that someone had told where their relatives, where their people, where their loved ones were, and they had all killed them. They had been all killed, you know. So I'm very
originally OK must have meant something really powerful for us, for them to take it and apply it to that. It must have meant something really powerful for us initially.
Right.
I can only imagine.
Yes, and we can go back to the mystery of the key, mystery. What would it say? A mystical key to the English language. You know, we can go back there. You know, and look as reference points. But again, I'm going to, shut this down, and I'm trusting that, all Moors will start bringing their dictionaries various dictionaries to class so that we can start, you know, because like and I'm going to say this again, scholars. I'm not looking for followers. I'm not looking for followers. I'm looking for scholars so that you know, it could go to the four corners of the earth, of the world, to all nations. You know, and it's happening because, you know, you got some people in China now doing these kinds of court actions. You got people in French Guiana doing these court actions. You got people in the islands doing these court actions. So, you know, we're taking the message to the four corners. Come on now, Moors. You know, let's be prepared. Come prepared so that you can take this message to the four corners of the world, to all nations. All right. So with that. You sent me the thing, Sister Light? You sent it to me?
I'm going to as soon as we. I have a very inexpensive phone. It is not the phone for the air because it cannot send things while I'm on it. So
you got one of them flip phones.
I'll send it directly to you.
All right, so you got one of them flip phones. Yes. So, Sister Malo, we're gonna be there in full force. The Moors gonna be marching in full force. You know, it's gonna be an army of Moors. Yes, we're gonna see this action. Yes. All right. So with that, I'm closing with how I usually close. I love you. I love you more. I love you more. Grand Rising,
Morris. Peace and love. Grand Rising.
Grand Rising. All right.